Welcome back to another how-to video brought to you by onX Offroad's Elite Membership Program. Today we're going to be talking to you guys about REDARC. Now REDARC has a solar panel system and a power management distribution system that we're going to be talking to you guys about and teaching you how to install it on one of your rigs, just like we're going to be doing in this bus. So we're going to be walking you guys through step-by-step how to install your Manager 30, the BMS 1230 S3R NA. On top of the Power Manager 30, we're going to also be putting in a power inverter. Now this is going to give us 2,000 watts. This is DC to AC power inverter. This thing is going to be powering all of our accessories inside the bus. When they take this to events, we need power and we need solar. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be walking you through how to install the system so that you can install a REDARC system on your vehicle of choice. We have 3 REDARC solar panels. They're the SM SP1200 200 watt monocrystalline solar panels. So let's just take it and show you guys what they look like. We're going to be building a roof rack and mounting these solar panels to the top of our bus. Now these come in a variety of different sizes, so you can go to REDARC's website and check which application is going to work best for you. But in our situation, these are the panels that we ended up going with, and we're going to be showing you how we're going to be wiring these together and wiring them into the Manager system. So with your REDARC solar panels is going to come a manual. Now this is going to become your Bible for installing your REDARC solar system. So this will walk you through everything you need to know. They've got pictures, they've got detailed instructions, they have model numbers, peak power, cell construction cable length, the frame size, what it's made out of, the dimensions, the weight, and the conversion efficiency. Now these are all super important things that you need to know about when installing your solar system from REDARC. So with our solar system, we're actually going to be installing this in a parallel system. You can also run your solar panels in series, but for our setup, we're going to be running these all parallel and running them into one Manager system. So in your booklet, it'll show you just how you can do that at home. Now, if you keep flipping through your booklet, this is going to show you your system wiring BMS installation diagram. Now, this is what you need to know in order to put the system together properly. And you might note, there are a few things that are not supplied by REDARC, so you are going to have to order those. We're going to show you guys here in a minute what we got in addition to the REDARC system that you're going to need to install this properly. So what we've gone ahead and done is we've gotten a system that we're going to be putting in from scratch. Now you might have an RV at home or a trailer or some sort of outfit that you're going to be retrofitting. We're going to be using most every single thing besides this power distribution center. Now this can run your lights, your fridge, and all of your accessories in your RV or your trailer. This we're not going to be using, but if you're retrofitting your system, you will need to use this. In ours, we're starting from scratch and we're not going to be using this. One more thing that I'd like to add that comes with your RV kit from REDARC is a water tank sensor. Now we're not going to be using this because we don't have an onboard water tank, but in your situation, this will integrate into your power management system, and on your display screen, you can check the water level and you can check all sorts of things in your RV. With our REDARC system, we got a variety of fuses. We've got 40 amp inline fuses, we have 60 amp and a 50 amp fuse as well. Now these are going to go into various locations and we're going to lay these out in a little bit and show you guys where we would put these fuses in line to protect your system. Alright, so one thing I'd like to talk to you guys about is when sizing up your REDARC system, you need to figure out what is going to suit your needs best. So we went with this system with a 2,000 watt inverter because we know that we're going to be running a chest freezer and we also want to run a Starlink. So when we're out at events, we need internet and we need ice cream. So we check the wattage usages on both and we make sure that this power inverter is going to put out enough watts to power up these units when we need it. The Manager 30 is a 30 amp battery management system. It keeps your auxiliary batteries charged from 110 volt AC shore power, DC car battery, and solar panels. 30 amp power rating provides more power to charge your battery faster. Simultaneously charges from multiple sources. It's an easy install, and Red Vision display with access to Red Vision user app to monitor battery power consumption on your smartphone. Inside your Red Vision box comes a Red Vision Quick Start Guide. On the back page of this teaches you how to Bluetooth pair to your app on your smartphone and devices so that you can run your Red Vision right from your smartphone. With our REDARC system, we got an auxiliary screen. It's the exact same screen as we just showed you, Red Vision, but this is going to go at the front of the bus. We're going to have one at the back by the management system, and we're going to be using a Cat 5 cord that comes with it and allow us to put this on the dash to where we can run everything right from the dash. Next, we're going to unbox and show you the Industrial Pure Sine Wave Inverter. Now, this is a 2,000 watt REDARC power inverter. This is going to run our freezer full of ice cream and everything else that we need inside the bus. So inside comes another instruction manual. Make sure you read this, take a look through it. It's going to give you detailed instructions on how to hook this up into your system and where you need to put your fuses. Those are very, very important. Now the cool thing about this 2000 watt inverter from REDARC is there are multiple things you can do with it. You can actually run this off of a remote Cat 5. There's dip switches that you can change for different outputs. And on the backside you have your ring terminals for your negative and positive power, and also your chassis ground. Inside your box comes your ring terminals that attach to your sine inverter. Now this is a 4/0 ring terminal, so make sure you get the correct size cabling. So we have the proper size cable, which is 4/0, that we're going to run from the inverter to our battery. Also provided are these little covers that keep everything protected. So you got your negative, and you've got your positive. So two key things I want to talk to you guys about. Now, when mounting your REDARC power inverter, you need to mount it horizontally, not vertically. Now there's two acceptable options of horizontal mounting. You've got your horizontal wall mount base down, or you have your horizontal mount base down or up. So what that means is you can mount your power inverter like this, or like this, but you never want to mount it vertical. That is a no-go. Last thing I want to show you guys on this power inverter before we move on is this switch right here. Now you're going to notice that it has one line, a 0, and 2 lines. This is your off position. Now this is your on position with 1 line. So when you have 2 lines and you're toggled into that position, that is remote mode. So you're going to be running this remotely. Also, we've opted to put a 250 amp alternator that we purchased from Tucson Alternator. So I'm going to show you the battery and the alternator, and then what we're going to do is lay out this entire system and walk you through all of the components that you need and how to wire this thing up properly. So in our solar system, we decided to go with the Game Changer 3.0. This is a Battle-Born Batteries. It's a GC3 lithium-ion battery. The operating voltage on this is 12.8 volts. Charging voltage is 14.4 to 14.6 volts. Max continuous current is 300 amps. Max surge current is 500 amps for 30 seconds, and a half a second surge for larger loads. Now that we've shown you all the components that we're going to be using on our new solar system, we're going to lay it all out and show you guys how we're going to wire it up. All right, so we're going to take you through the entire system that we're putting on our bus, starting with the solar panels. So right here, these splitters we got off of Amazon, where we can connect all 3 solar panels together into one line. So from those lines, we're coming into our management system. But before we get to the management system, I'm going to show you a couple of things that we got in addition to our kit. So this right here, this is going to allow us to come through the roof of the bus. And it's going to have a watertight seal. So it's got rubber seals here. It's got double-sided tape. This is going to keep everything watertight to where we can take the wiring through the roof and not have any leaks. We've also opted to put a switch in. Now the reason we're adding the switch is if we ever want to work on the system, we turn it off. Then that isolates the solar panels from the rest of the system. We can disconnect it and everything's going to be great. So if we need to change out a battery, we need to work on something on the inverter or on the management side of things, shut off your panels, everything's great. This does not come with your REDARC system, but this I do recommend you get. Moving on, we are adding a 30 amp inline fuse for the solar panel. We purchased this off of Amazon. You bring your negative and positive right over here into the REDARC management system. In your booklet, you can see right where to put your power in and your ground. So ground is going to be your slot 3, and your power in is going to be slot 5. So we've got that right here. So now that we've showed you the solar panel configuration and the wiring into the manager, we're going to go over to the battery. From our Battleborn battery, we've got a power and a ground coming out. The power and ground, they go directly over to the inverter. Now in line, we're adding a 200 amp fuse. This is not supplied in the kit. This is something that we had to get in addition. That's going to go on your positive side. Now on the negative side, this does come with your REDARC kit. This is our battery sensor. This is measuring negative draw. So you actually have a power line, comes over to your battery, and then you have a Cat 5 that goes right into your management system on this side. So now you've seen the battery sensor that's in line, and you've also seen the fuse that we've added into the power side. So moving on to the inverter. That's pretty much everything. So we're going to call this our load. So in your system wiring diagram, you're going to see out of the house battery, we have a negative and a positive that go to the load. That's this right here. Our inverter is the load on our system. So moving on to the management system, you can see that we've got a cable coming out of the back. What we've done, this came to an extension cord style connector. We have added a plug right here. Now you can actually plug an extension cord into this. This is going to be on the outside of the bus. Now that I've talked to you guys about everything that comes with the REDARC system and showed you how it is routed and how you can take this concept and install it into your vehicle, I want to show you the things that we got in addition to by themselves. All right, so first we have our MC4 3-into-1 connections. So we got a negative and a positive. They come as a kit. They're fairly decently priced. But you are going to want those if you are running 3 panels. If you're running even more panels, you're going to need more connections. That way we only have to run 2 wires into the bus. Next we have our solar double cable entry gland. Now what this gland does is it is watertight. So like I said earlier, it's got rubber on this side and it has a 3M double-sided tape side on this. So no water's coming into your bus, no water's coming into your roof. This is a watertight seal and you will need that. That way you don't have to drill holes and try to use silicone. This just makes it a lot better install. Next we have our PV solar disconnect switch. Now this is crucial to isolate your system in case you ever need to work on it. So I highly recommend that you go get yourself a PV solar disconnect switch. Next we have our PV solar 30 amp connector that's a waterproof fuse. You're going to want this in line on your positive side. Moving on to our house battery. In our positive side from the house battery, we added a 200 amp fuse. This did not come with it, but it comes in a nice holder. You've got your fuse panel here, and if this ever blows, it's super easy to get into it. This is going to help protect your house battery. Lastly, we have our alternator. Now this is a 250 amp pure power alternator that we purchased from Tucson Alternators, and I have this on every one of my vehicles. This is a very good idea to put on your vehicle, but it is not necessary. In our situation, we definitely wanted to go with it though. All right, so thank you for following along on this how-to video brought to you by onX Offroad's Elite Partner Program. If you enjoyed this, make sure you head over to onX Offroad and get yourself an Elite membership. Start saving money on all things awesome, especially the solar system from REDARC.